So amazing how this woman here protects me. She's a queen and man, that smile is a true blessing. She gave us life and sacrifice without us asking. Don't know how she did it, but she always made a way. So if I could imagine God, I see my mama's face. No one could ever take this woman's place. And I'm blessed to say that I got my mama. If nobody ever ride for me, if nobody else would die for me, I got my mama. Give me more than you could ever think. It's so amazing how. Hey, welcome in, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let me see. Hey, guys, how are you? Happy Happy Women's History Month. Today is March. It's Women's History Month. And the first woman I'll be interviewing in honor of Women's History Month is my mother. And my mother is also a content creator, and her channel is Living Waters with Sister Glenda. Thank you, everyone, for coming in and joining us today. So I wanted to interview her. I have some questions that I've written down, and I try to write my questions where it will be like specific to each person I interview. So if you are interested in my invitation to be one of the mothers I interview, these will not be the exact questions. Okay. So I just want to make sure you know that. But the overall thing is, if you're a mother, I recognize that you're a mother 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. And I am interviewing my very own mother. And I would like to start with the first question being to tell us about yourself.
First, I want to say thank you, 12, for choosing me to interview.
You're welcome.
And I feel so honored.
Good.
Thank you. So
That's what I would like. I like to honor. I think this is a great opportunity to honor women.
Yes.
And that's what they're looking for us to do for the month of March.
Yes.
And the reason why Women's History Month was created was because they did not feel that women were being recognized. So I'm very happy to be able to have a platform and be able to recognize women such as yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I like to say that I was born in Brooklyn. I was raised on Long Island. I was raised in a suburban lifestyle, not an inner city lifestyle. I did all my schooling from kindergarten to 12th grade on Long Island. As a child, I was a very shy kid. Uh, I had one of my best talents was that I could draw. It was a God given gift. Uh, Nobody taught me. I was drawing, and I was recognized at an early age with that ability. So as time went on, and in my 12th grade, I decided that what can I do? How can I make money with my gift? So I decided that I would try go to school for to be a fashion designer, and I applied for a school here in Manhattan, and I got accepted. I had two aunts that lived in Brooklyn. I asked them could I live there so I could go to school, commute from Brooklyn to Manhattan. They said yes. That's how I got back to Brooklyn. Got back to to be in the city, which was so different from growing up on Long Island, especially in the time when I was young, which it was in the development stage. Um, so it was a totally different atmosphere for me. Now, I was here in 1970 during the hippie times, during all the people's wearing those big afros and the bell bottom pants and the hip huggers and the like the tank tops and um, the young people was like, it was their day. Girls was throwing their bras away and um, wearing signs that said peace and free love and it was just a wild time. And some of the people that was the performers was James Brown, the Temptations, the Donna Ross, uh, what was the name of her group? Wasn't Donna
The
Ross?
Supremes.
The Supremes, all those fantastic performers. And after being in that school for about 2 years, I was supposed to get my certificate from that school, and I wanted to go to what is that? FIT. But the dean wouldn't. First of all, the school was, after the first year, I wanted to change my major because I had realized I got into the wrong program. But she would not. That dean would not let me switch. When I was supposed to finish those 2 years, I was going to go to FIT. The dean said, "Oh, you need to go for 6 more weeks um, to finish this program." And being young, I thought that was unfair, and I'm, rebelling against that. But during that time, I was thinking, I'm not going to go back. She's wasting my money. Blah blah blah. I met your dad. And he was going to Brooklyn College, and that just that changed a lot of things. After 2 years of our courtship, we got married. He went into this army, and after going to basic and about a year here, then he got transferred to Germany, and then he sent for me to come. And now I want to back up. After getting married, about a few months after, just before we got married, I started feeling the tug for the Lord Jesus. And then after we got married, right after I went and accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And that just changed. There was a big change in my life with that. And so then we went to I joined him in Germany, and we didn't have kids for a while. It took over 2 years before I got pregnant, and then I had you, and then I had your brother, and
And so wait, I wanted to break it down a little bit more, because we are talking mainly for women on Women's Month. So as a woman, we wear many hats.
yes,
And as you were sharing your story from a child into adulthood and then into being married, we just want to make sure that we highlight the fact that you were a daughter.
yes,
And I didn't know if you really mentioned that you had siblings, but
yeah.
your sister,
I have one sister and three brothers.
yes, and your mother, your what first wife, so you're a wife, a mother, and
And a
you,
grandmother.
and now in a grandmother, yes. So there's many hats that you have to juggle as
Auntie.
a woman and an aunt,
Yeah.
right? So you have many hats as a mother, and you do many things as you wear those hats.
Yes.
So as you left from being single to being a wife,
Mm-hmm.
and not only just
just any kind of wife. You're a military wife,
Mm-hmm.
and you had to relocate overseas. How was that transition from being used to being in America, right, and American customs to Germany? Because was there some changes you had to make as far as um, the environment you were, or was it an easy transition?
Um, it was okay. I wouldn't say it was easy, but it was okay. All of a sudden, I realized that I'm the foreigner.
Okay, that's interesting, right?
Yeah, everybody
and why are
around.
you a foreigner? Because now the main language is not English, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And I learned a few words, a few phrases, so I could go here and there. But because America is such a dominating country, most places spoke English.
Which is good.
And when you go into a store, you could say, "Can you?" I learned how to say, ask anybody know how to speak English, and they would direct me to somebody who spoke English,
Right.
so I could get my desires met. um, I was, I think I always wanted to travel, so it didn't bother me. I was somewhere new. Uh, I think that the place where we was living, it was, like was a lot of farmland. It was just a great experience. A lot of farmland. The food was so fresh. It tastes so good.
And it was on a military base with other
No,
Americans.
when I first got there, we did not live on a military base housing. We did not live on military housing. We lived right in the German community.
Okay.
And but they treated us fine. I had no problems.
Which is good. So you didn't
Mhm.
really feel like you was experiencing racism or anything like that.
Not that, yeah, I didn't recognize.
Which is good. Which is good. Did you feel like there was a positive experience, more positive than America, or you wasn't really having any experience of
I
racism
love
in America?
America, so I did get to a place where I was feeling homesick. And
Okay,
I
yes.
started feeling like, am I ever going to get back to America?
Because you was in Germany for how long?
I was there 3 years.
And you didn't learn the language?
I learned how to communicate some.
Okay.
I did not I didn't learn how to speak fluently or anything.
So like what when you would say good morning, do you remember how you would greet a person?
I think, I hope I'm saying it right now. Guten Tag.
So you would say Guten Tag.
Yeah.
For what?
That's good morning.
Good morning. And
yeah, don't play me because I might not know.
But you at the time, because it was years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like how long has it been?
Okay, you know how old you're 44.
Yeah.
So it's 44 years ago. I had you there, and it's longer than that because I guess it was 46 years ago.
Okay, so like 46. So wow, that's a long time, right?
Yeah.
But you still remember some things. And did you travel anywhere outside of Augsburg? So you was in Augsburg, Germany. Where else did you go?
I went to many places in Germany, and I got to go to Switzerland.
Okay.
I got to go, I think it's Us. I don't remember how to pronounce that word.
But it's another place in Germany.
Another place I got to go to Paris, France.
Which is not Germany.
No, it's not Germany.
Right.
Switzerland is not Germany.
Right.
Paris, France is not Germany. Those two different countries.
Yes. And when you came back to America, you resided in Brooklyn?
Yes.
And so you became a Brooklynite again because you was born in Brooklyn.
Yes.
So in Brooklyn, as a mother, because now you have a title as
mother.
You're a mother now, housewife or career?
Housewife.
Okay, so you're a housewife. Was that an easy transition from going from single mother, wife to now a housewife with children?
No, it was not. It was all flowing in the right direction.
Okay, that's good.
Everything flowed in the right direction.
Okay, so when it came to your children as a mother, was it how was the transition, being that you had a son with disabilities? Like how?
That was hard. That was hard. I used to cry all the time and rock and pray, because I just,
But like, but not like in a negative, just because we have moms that have children with disabilities, right? And that's another reason why you're empowered, recognized, and celebrated woman, because you are a mother that was able to, you know, parent a disabled child. But I'm saying, like, how did the process go? Like, you found out he was disabled at.
what happened, I realized that your brother was not developing like you had.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I said, "Oh, uh, you started walking at a certain before one,
Okay.
maybe I think maybe 9 months or something, uh, and he hadn't started, doing those things." And I'm like, "What's going on?" So I take him to the doctor. I said, "Well, he's not doing this. He's not doing that." They said, "Oh, he'll do it in his own time, in his own
Okay.
time." So
But you
around,
felt it was like you felt
well,
like it was something.
I didn't have the language or the wisdom or the, understanding what was going on. Really, I used to read those childbearing books. So I think the popular one was called Spike, Dr. Seuss, something like that. It was very popular, and I always would refer to that book and buy, whatever. But I wasn't understanding. I just didn't. The terminology for that is the delayed child
I'm
development.
saying that you recognized that there were some delays on your own.
Yeah,
And when you brought the child to the doctor wasn't really saying that he had delays. They said that it's a possibility he's just not on this time frame, but it'll grow out.
he's on his own time frame. He'll do it
Right.
when he's ready.
Yes.
You know. So he did start walking at 13 months,
Okay.
and
And that made you feel a little bit better.
yeah, I felt good about
Okay.
that. But um, he looked like he had started trying to talk, and then he stopped. Like, I was like, what interrupted that?
Mm.
And then he didn't. Then he didn't talk, and I was constantly trying to take him play. I was very worried about that. I was trying to figure out what's going on, and
So he was quiet, or he was just nonverbal.
I mean,
Like he was trying to
he
communicate
makes
with.
some noises, but he wasn't forming any words.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't even think he had to say "mama," "dad." I don't. I mean, in the beginning, and then when it stopped, then he was like, it was. He went back instead of going forward.
Right. So you felt there was like he digressed.
Digress.
Yes. And these are all words that you learned over time as you continue to work on. She continued to seek out medical assistance. So you start learning the terminology for the child, because you were doing the best you could for the child.
Yeah.
Which good moms do. You understand?
Yeah.
And so as over time, you you learned that he did have a disability.
Yeah. He got evaluated at Kings County Hospital, I believe, or downstate, one of those. They took him through a series of testings, and they, came up, but he's, had delays.
Mm-hmm.
And they told me, I think he was 4.
Mm-hmm.
Right after he turned 4, he got accepted in a preschool.
Mm-hmm.
And being around other little kids just like that, he became verbal. He started talking.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, just like that. I don't know.
Because he was with me as a sister, but
Yeah.
he didn't form to talk with me.
Yeah.
But he did with other
Yeah,
peers.
right
So
away.
that was good.
Right away, it was like boom.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was good. And but when was you told he was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy?
That was later on.
Okay, so it was later after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was another blow.
Okay, so it was just a series of different things.
Yeah. Maybe we can stop talking about
Right,
so
right.
much.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to bring to the attention that you did have a disabled child
Yeah.
that you worked with, and that you made sure that he lived the best life he could as he was progressing,
Yeah.
because he had the art scholarship and everything, all these wonderful
Yes.
things.
But during the time, at the time that he got into the preschool, you started kindergarten, and that was the first year that school that you went to had a full day kindergarten. And a couple of years or a year prior to that, I had opportunity. I was praying and asking God to give me something to do. I always believed that everybody was born with a talent, you know. So, or a way, a means to be able to make an income. I just wanted something because I was born during this time, and women's, that little independent stuff was a little bit was in me. So I wanted to have my own, my own little money.
When you said born in this time, were you
That
talking about
means
the women lived time?
yeah.
So you're saying that you started to be influenced by the liberation of
I
women?
was there. It's not that I was influenced. I was born. It's like when you're born into something. That's the era I was born into. So I just wanted a little something. Your father's working. He's taking care of all the bills, but I wanted some little extra. So anyway, I had asked God to give me something. And I was asked by this hairdresser, she said, she told me about this school. And when I first brought it up to my husband, he said, well, no, he wasn't. I needed childcare, and he
Okay.
didn't want to be bothered with that. So
Outside childcare.
I had, if I was going to go to school,
You
I
needed
needed someone to take care of you. He didn't feel like he didn't want to do it because I think he was in between jobs at that moment. And I went to check the daycare
yes.
center, and I didn't like their attitudes. They didn't even want me to go in there to check to see how the facility was.
Right. So
And
they didn't want to give you a walkthrough.
no, and basically you have to bring your child, your precious children,
And
you're
drop
the
them
one
off.
and leave them there. No.
Right.
That wasn't my idea. So I said no. So then I prayed and I said, Lord, I'm sorry if I messed up the opportunity, but if you give it to me again, I'm gonna take it. So your brother got accepted in that daycare, and you got accepted in kindergarten. Yours was a full day, and he got home a little bit after you.
Oh, so he had a full day too.
Yes.
Okay, so 2 full days. So
Full
you had
day.
so it's like you had your daycare.
I was able to go.
Yes.
But I brought it up with my husband, and we talked about it. So I said, you go pick our child up after when kindergarten's over, and by time I'll be home to get our son off the bus.
School bus, yes.
And that just worked out perfectly.
Oh God, that's good.
Yes. God.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it? That's what she needed. She needed that.
And I had to have faith to do all that because I needed, the school was free, but I had to pay for the textbooks. I had to pay. Oh, I didn't tell you what kind of school it was. I went to school to become a cosmetologist, and I always loved glamour, makeup. I used to work for a makeup company. I used to love making up people, transforming them from their natural selves to the more glamorous person. And so, but I always wanted to be able, like, if I could do their hair, it could make them even look better. So anyway, I got the opportunity to go to school to become a cosmetologist. I had to have faith to get the books, to get the mannequin, to get all the we came with a box with all your tools. And
so they provided that in school.
They
provided you they provided you with a location. You had to pay for it.
The school was free,
Yes.
but the textbook was not.
Mm-hmm.
The mannequin was not.
Mm-hmm.
The your case of all your
Equipment.
equipment was
Mm-hmm.
not. That you had to wear a uniform, that was not.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, "Oh my God, I got this, but now I'm going to get the rest of this stuff."
Right, because you have an
And
expense now. School expenses. Yeah, school expenses.
whatever. I don't know. You call it school expenses, or you had to have these things to really go to the school.
Yes.
So I had to pray, and I want to, reiterate that if you're a Christian, you have to believe God for these steps. Opportunities may come, but it's like you got to keep on believing for God to bring everything together.
Amen.
So the lady who told me about the school, she paid for the I think she paid for the mannequin and the textbook.
Okay.
Or she paid for something. And then I had another hairdresser friend. These are two women that was very important in my life. And the other one,
Women supporting women. That's wonderful.
Yes.
It was women supporting women. Amen.
She bought
Hey, for mama.
my uniform and my shoes. Those days, if anybody remember, I don't know if you're old enough to know, you had to have a white uniform, white stockings, and you had to have white nursing shoes. So this was the
uniform to be a cosmetologist.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman, boy, I had to keep that clean all the time. But I had everything to start. Now, then there was another expense that came up about, and that was the car fare. And even back
so that
then,
transportation. So you had So it's not. So the school wasn't near your house.
No.
Okay. So now you have transportation issues.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's like a lot of these programs now, they might give you transportation.
Yes.
But they did not back then.
Okay.
So
you had to pray.
I had to pray. But somehow we decided, my husband said we would work it into our budget.
Good. So he supported you with that.
Yes.
Because he wasn't going to support you with the. Yeah. That's good, Mom. That's good.
Yeah. And then I'm not a Brooklyn. I was born in Brooklyn, but I was not reared in Brooklyn. So I did not know how to get around in Brooklyn. And the school was downtown. And I'm in Bedford-Stuyvesant.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even know how to get to this school.
What?
So I had to ask my husband. I said, please show me how to get to the school.
Right. You wanted to know how to travel there.
Yeah, I wouldn't have never made it.
Right.
So
but you was accepted. You was accepted into the program, but you still was having a little issues with how do you get there?
Well, I had to get down there first to get accepted.
Yeah.
To go there. So and then I got accepted. Then I knew how to get down there because he talked to me, told me how to travel.
Okay.
And I got to the was going to school.
Which is wonderful.
Yeah.
See?
We did have some interruptions though, because later your brother got the ringworm, and because he's around all these kids and people wearing different hats and stuff, and he got that, and it took a while for me to deal with that, and I stopped going to school for a while.
But the school understood, like they gave you the accommodation.
When I went back, they let me come back.
Good. And
I finished, and I took my tests, and I became a New York State licensed cosmetologist.
Which is wonderful. Yeah. Which is wonderful.
Yes.
Hey, Chucked Up, he said, that's why I hate the word free. It comes with attachments. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yes, but it was an experience that you was able to get through.
Yes.
And it was something that you had desired. You wanted to do that.
I desired it, and God put you through I prayed. That had me praying all the time. I was asking, because when cosmetology is science. If you do this, you mix this, that, it's going to produce this response. So they have all these technical terminologies and this and that. You have to learn this stuff. It's a certain way. So when I know there's people who have a natural talent to do hair, and they could do it.
Yes.
They're fabulous, but those same people can mess your hair up because they don't understand what the chemicals that they're using on you, because they talented, but they don't really have the knowledge of what they're doing. So I always tell people, whatever if you want to do something, go to school. What are you afraid of? If you all that, go to school and get your papers.
Yeah, get your papers. She said, get your papers. But that's what hey Denise, that's what they say on that's what you have noticed on a lot of the YouTube channels. They will see people, they will do something that my mom as a licensed cosmetologist will say, oh no, she can't relax her hair, like use this product and then dye at the same time, and so she's, oh, the hair's gonna come out. And it is something that some people do experience because they are over processing their hair or doing something that they're not supposed to do, which they just want the result for that moment, right? So they know that they want their hair straight, they want it colored this color, and they're doing the wrong mixture, but they just say, I know how to do it.
They don't
I know how to do it.
Because my mother, she had my youngest brother's lady friend to do her hair. So I know this woman didn't know, she didn't mean any harm, but we can make mistakes. So the lady relaxed my mother's hair, and she put a permanent dye on her hair behind the relaxer. It took my mother's gorgeous hair out and burned her scalp. It messed her up, so her hair never really returned. And it's not because the woman did it on, she didn't do it out of meanness. She just did not know. She didn't know. Another incident, when this woman, I noticed she was working, this is years ago when Black people owned the beauty supply stores. She was in there, and I noticed her hands was all, it was deformed. And it's because she was relaxing clients' hair without having the rubber gloves on it. You need the rubber gloves. And a lot of people do these things that they think they're smart. Oh, I don't need gloves. And they're messing, it's going into their skin. Our skin is a big cell and everything seeps into it. So, she messed up her hands. Her hands look ugly and everything because she practiced doing the wrong thing.
Right.
And just like when I was looking at a lot of the videos on YouTube about natural hair, they don't do that now. When I first started doing this, natural hair people that was on, they're cutting their hair with the regular paper scissors.
Right.
They didn't
have the proper shears.
They didn't even call them shears. They said scissors. Take the scissors to your hair.
Right.
You have hair shears. They made so they can cut that hair without splitting the ends and all that.
Right.
So these, a lot of people doing things, but they're not doing it in the proper way.
Right. So, but also we know that we was talking earlier about expenses, and the box of gloves, they might have thought it was an unnecessary expense. Cutting corners, like when you say we're cutting corners too much because you don't want to have the towel or the gloves or the smock, right? So they just didn't think, maybe they didn't realize they might have chemical pills or whatever as a result, because they're like, I don't need to spend money on a box of gloves.
Yeah, but back in those days, that was like $4.99. $4.95.
Yeah, but whatever the amount, they're trying to cut the corner, right?
Yeah,
because people. That's one of the things we have noticed in some business. People cut corners the wrong way, and some of the things that you need, which we would call, for some of the things we've been doing now since COVID, is the PCP, the PCP equipment, where those are just the gloves, the mask, the regular stuff that almost everybody that deals with chemicals and people have to use.
Yeah.
And people do try to cut corners or
All the
reuse it.
time.
And some of those things it's not best practice, you know.
Yeah, like I used to work at this beauty salon, and the owner, she would like to dilute her products. So if someone came in there to get a Jerry curl, well, Jerry curl is the name of a brand, so I should say permanent curls. She would dilute the solution. So you're coming out of there. If you see that those curls are not tight, and you wonder what happened, now she's giving you that service at a reduced, like, half price.
Oh, so she did reduce the price,
but you're not getting, you're not getting the proper service.
right?
And a lot of times when people was getting the Jerry curls, and all the people was getting this baldness in the top of their hair, you know why?
No, why?
Because the people did not rinse that product out of your hair right.
Okay.
And they was all like, what? Oh, they get bald up here. No, because if they would take the time and rinse it the proper way, and they would put it's a solution they have to put on there, it would stop the process and your hair would be fine.
Right, the neutralizer.
Yeah.
But that's what, that's what the professional will know, opposed to an amateur or someone that doesn't really know.
Oh, they're learning something the wrong way. Because if you work for somebody who's telling you dilute this and that, and you started thinking that that's the proper way you're supposed to do it, and you're not.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's another reason why sometimes Black women have issues with their hair, because they're using powerful chemicals and they're not getting the right treatment, not getting it neutralized, and not getting the conditioner and stuff.
That's why I have a natural.
Right.
No, but I did. My clients had hair on their head. I took care of it. And that's why I feel like it's, people don't care about the health of your hair now. It's all about styling. And a lot of stuff that people are doing to hair now is it's thinning your hair out. Every time you braid so much and you sew the those wefts into your hair, a lot of stuff you're doing is just wearing the hair thin. So
right.
But that's a choice. People say, oh, beauty costs, whatever. And
do you feel that that was something that was a good avenue as a woman to go down to become a cosmetologist?
For me,
because cosmetology is very, that seems like it was dominated by women at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. Makeup and hair and stuff was a real female. It was like a gender. Did you feel like you was in something that was specifically for your gender, or you felt like it was mixed?
In the salons that I worked in, it was mostly female dominant.
Okay. Has it changed now, would you say?
Well, I don't know.
Or it still feels like
I don't know, because I wear my hair natural now. So I don't know. I don't, I think a lot of people decided they wanted, regardless of what their sex was, they into beauty. So maybe maybe it's more opportunity for someone that's not a female that wants to come into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But as a woman, it was a field that was generally geared to other females.
Yeah. But to tell you the truth, I always preferred a male to do my hair, because at the time, I didn't feel like they were going to be jealous with my hair, the thickness of it and the length of it. And they would just do a beautiful job on it without messing me up.
And Jack, thank you, Tyrese, Edward, and Jack Spade for joining us as well. And what I wanted to say, because Jack is making jokes. Jack up there talking about, wait, so being bald, black, and beautiful is all due to someone not doing my curls properly? Thank the Lord I did. He said, thank the Lord. It didn't affect my man Beauty, he's a mess. But those are the case. Those are some cases, and as a professional, you would know. And you said that you preferred a male to do your hair due to jealousy. So did you find that you had an easy time finding a male beautician to do your
I
hair?
had one and two. He passed away, and since he passed away, I think that was what encouraged me to start looking into becoming a natural.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because you didn't really trust any other females to do
I
your.
don't.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
I just had a question about the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So, during your time as a beautician, did you find that um, uh, Black Americans started to prefer Dominicans to do their hair? Because remember, there was a time where Dominican stylists were more popular.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, some, but because listen, during the time when I was in my heyday with doing hair,
What year? What
I
around
don't
year?
remember. I
80s,
guess
90s?
no, it was. I guess it was in the
In the
90s,
90s.
80s.
Okay, so you
I don't.
heyday.
I listen. Don't put that. I don't remember. But here in New York, the people were so concerned about. Oh, I want my hair to last 2 weeks. So they would do some styles. They would do it was so stiff, like it's like you had a helmet on. They were pretty, but they just like not natural. It's very stiff.
Stiff from what? What?
The products,
Hairspray or?
yeah, we used to use. They used to use spritz, and
Okay.
that was like. So there's certain groups of people that was doing the hair. You went to them, you're gonna get that helmet looking hair. It's gonna try to last for 2 weeks. Then I love working at a place that her customers used to come in every week to get their hair done. So her clients
spending
were
money. They had more money.
Yeah, her clients were corporate.
Okay. Yeah. So they had more money.
Yeah, and then with the Dominicans, they have learned how to do a style where your hair is going to be moving and flowing, and people who wanted soft hair, they wanted touchable, they went to them. So it's something for everybody. It's everybody has a choice how they want it to work.
So you don't feel like they came in and dominated. Remember, we got to a point where you had a lot of Dominican beauty salons.
It's always somebody gonna come in. It's gonna be the new thing for the hour.
But it didn't really. You don't feel it impacted your industry, your job.
People used to be up in arms and complaining about it, but hey, people are always going to do something. They're gonna go somewhere. People,
Okay.
like
you saying it's part of business?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. But I don't know if y'all remember that, but there was a time when, man, people wanted to go get their hair done from the Dominicans. And that was so popular. And they liked how they used the hair dryer with the brush to straighten out the hair. And they were popular. They were very popular. I don't know. I remember what year it was, but I remember that was the thing. Yeah. And then somewhere down the line, people started wanting to have long weaves because remember the people.
See, that's what I'm saying.
It's a different fat.
It's always going to be something. And just like when people first started, when it was the big thing to wear your hair natural, a lot of salons lost money because people was doing it themselves.
Yeah.
So it's always something. We're in a life is a river. It's flowing. It's always something that's going to get people eye, and they're going to look for this and this, the new thing, and
Right. And just in case y'all might not be familiar with the hard hairstyles that Sister Glenda was talking about, she's talking about like a perfect example is Patti LaBelle, because Patti LaBelle would come out with these like really art-like hairstyles. That was like
wigs, though. That's theatrical.
Yes, so there was like a hard. You're not touching that.
Yeah, but it's a wig. I'm talking about real hair. People used to do it with those curling.
Yeah, with the short cuts, and they do their little curls, and those curls are gonna stay for 2 weeks.
Well, you hope. Somebody set that hair out. I don't know.
Oh my God! But that was you seen the different fads that would go.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned the Jerry curl. Remember the Jerry curl? That's like nobody wears that no more.
That's when they made money because the whole family was coming in.
Everybody wanted Jerry
That
curl.
was unisex.
Uh-huh.
That's when
Men and women was coming
they
in
was
that.
making money back then. I just sort of missed that. You know, I was going to school, and by the time I came in there, after that movie it just phased out. Nobody said, "I want no greasy hair," you know. But
Which is what she's talking about. The movie you're talking about is Coming to America.
No, it wasn't.
Which
What's
movie?
that?
Yeah, because remember the three guys was on the couch and they left the spot.
Yeah.
And then so people didn't want the Jerry curl after that.
That started turning people away from. But the people made so much money during those days because the husband, the sons, the daughters, the mother, the grandmama, you know, everybody was coming and the money. And I was working in a small salon right after I stopped going to school. And even on rainy days, we was making money because people didn't care if their hair ain't gonna get wet. They just felt like they could come in even on a rainy day and get their hair done. Not like if you're getting press and curl. Oh, I can't get it done because it's raining.
Oh,
or you know, a roller set or something.
Right.
But with the Jerry curl, they said they were coming. Just put their plastic cap on and boom, they're gone.
So do you think that it was healthier at the time with the styles that people were doing when you first started compared to now? Because we remember, I would say I remember stories with the hot comb at the kitchen where people straightening the hair. So that's not really using relaxer. They would just straighten the hair.
That's not relaxer. That's just like natural hair and you're using the straightening comb.
And then they would curl it.
Yeah.
And then you had the, like, those were styles that I remember people were talking about. But now we always talk about harsh chemicals compared to just natural, where it wasn't usually like that. Like now people really are into products. Would you say that we wasn't as much into products? You had grease in it.
Well, you had grease, you had stuff. It
wasn't like that.
Just times that evolving. You know, I mean, people used to cook on wood stoves, and now you have gasoline, microwaves. You got all different stuff. You know, that's whatever.
It's more modernized.
Yeah.
Yes, which is good. He was up the thing. Let me see. Jack said it was not as hyped. Let me see. It was not as hyped south of Virginia. Dominican shops did okay, but they did not have the market cornered. The African shops did okay also. Okay, with the braiding, right?
But here in New York, the Dominicans had it going on.
Yes, got real popular. That's why he said, but down in like Virginia, it was a little different because I guess the Hispanics wasn't so strong down there. Because remember that a lot of the hair shows was in Atlanta and more like the South.
In California.
Yes. Yes. But we did, of course, have hair shows in New York.
Yes.
And some of them was in Jacob Javits Center. And I had got to go with my mom. Sometimes I would get to go with my mother to a hair show, which was very nice. It was so modern. They had different modern things going on.
I need you to take a break or something. Can you just pause it for a minute and get off?
Yes. Well, wait, guys, give me a minute for a minute. She's asking for a little break. So let me take us to a photo. Hey guys, we just get a little break, okay, and we're gonna resume. I wanted to see if you could hear this music. I was trying to give you some music. The whole point was to not see me help my mother up from the couch. But anyway, thank you. Thank you so much, Denise. Do y'all hear the music? I'm trying to give you a little bit of music. Um, for Zoom in a shortly. Can y'all hear that? Let me see if I can give you another picture as well. Yes, okay, great. Thank you, Frugal Mama. I, I'm trying to get the pictures. We're trying to get it together. The more I do it, the better I'll be able to go in and out, right? We gotta start somewhere. Again, happy Women's History Month. I don't know why she's making noise. Let me just see something. And put you back on mute for a minute. Oh, great. So that was fine. Okay, good. Do y'all still hear the music? I'm trying to like multitask. Yeah, so again, guys, I've been asking all of you wonderful women for me to give you opportunity to, just talk about yourself. I mean, the everyday woman is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Especially mothers. And we say that mothers should be celebrated every day, not just on Mother's Day. So hey guys, what about Women's Month, right? No problem. I say hey, sounds good to me. Okay, so we can resume. Hey, so so perfect timing, guys. We can open up the floor to questions. Sister Glenda is happy to answer any questions you may have. And then at the 60-minute mark, we will be done. She did really great. She must talk for we'll let her talk for an hour. And thank you so much for the 8 people that are in the room. Everybody's checking this out. This is so awesome. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it. So if anybody has any questions, I'm looking in the chat and I'm here to read it. And I really thank you again for attending. And again, remember that, Women's Month was started because of the fact that women weren't allowed to vote, women weren't allowed to participate in government. Thank you, Frugal Mama. She said, this is really awesome. Thank you. So recognizing all of that is really important because, talking about being able to be a housewife and work and do the motherhood is all wonderful because there were times that women didn't have those options. They were not allowed to have that flexibility. And to just highlight and showcase the fact that it wasn't your experience is really wonderful because some people they don't know what the women behind us or them had to experience. You see, I just love Denise said, I just love the mother-daughter love and connection. Reminds me of me and my mom. Yes, yes, Denise. And again, my condolences to all those who moms are no longer with them. But we can always always remember them. I remember when my grandmother passed away, we had a memorial on her behalf to remember her. And you can always do that, and you can always do things that remind you of the person that was important in your life, and what they taught you and how they added to your life. You don't never have to let it go. And I really like the contributions that women in my life have made. Like, we don't we don't want to feel that femininity is a negative thing. And my mother had a job that enhanced most women's femininity. You know what I mean? And it's so many different careers out there for women. A lot of women have chose to make the decision to do jobs that were typically male based, but we still support women in their decisions to have the choice. Okay, but you know, this was not a job where she had to carry heavy things and be in environments where there was a lot of issues with sexual harassment. Would you say, did you have issues with sexual harassment?
Not really. No. No.
Yeah. So, like, like, it's a different dynamic. Other women may go through
Not
different
in
things.
that.
Not that in that industry, right? Yeah. But we do have stories that are different, right? That where women are in a more male dominant environment, and even if they may be doing something that is not really hard labor or like what many men do, they have a whole different dynamic in their work environment. So we want to keep all of those things in mind, and the reality that as a woman, we experience different things, but we don't have to lose our essence.
Right.
We don't have to lose our essence to be an entrepreneur or a businesswoman. And I like to celebrate women doing doing just that, being women. It's nothing wrong with that, guys. You can still be a woman. I used to sell Mary Kay, and I would do full glamour on the women, just enhance their look, make them feel beautiful, and they would be so happy. And it was just such little things that were like dainty, right? It was like, like sometimes I remember my mom, she used to have Tupperware parties, and she used to let me make double eggs, and we used to do that. So anyway, guys, we made an hour mark, and I just want to just keep these things in your mind that we can celebrate women and being a woman and be proud of it. Okay, so thank you again to Sister Living Water with Sister Glenda. Please check out her channel. She comes on every Friday for praise and worship. She just gives glory to God, and she always welcomes everyone. And many of you have been there, and I thank you so much for supporting this interview today. And do you have any last words?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for honoring the regular woman. Like, you don't have to be a lawyer, astronaut, or inventor to get some recognition.
Because a mom is a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So appreciated.
Being a woman, and not and it just, look, guys. I celebrate you, moms, and I celebrate you, women, and I want you to feel good about yourself. And thank you again for joining us today. And we're gonna sign off. Bye, guys. Bye. And thank you for all the support from the men that came. Thank you, guys. We love you too, brothers. Bye.